Codex of the Clenched Lantern. Learn from their mistake. Of ash that speaks too loudly, there are voices that do not speak to be heard, but to prevent hearing. They do not seek truth, only pressure relief. They are furnaces with broken flues, belching heat into the room and calling it warmth. Know this first. When a man insists he has won, even a woman, it is because something inside them is still losing, and it is not their fault. Someone showed them no mercy. Victory does not repeat itself. Truth does not need to shout. Light does not foam at the mouth. This codex was not written against such a man. It was written around him, the way ivy grows around a tower already cracked. This is the doctrine of the plugged ear. There exists an ancient technique practiced unconsciously by those who fear inner silence. It is called auricular sealing. Its steps are simple. Declare yourself done listening. Continue speaking indefinitely. Accuse others of noise. This creates the illusion of dominance while preserving ignorance intact. The sealed ear becomes a shrine. Inside it, no foreign sound may enter, no correction, no nuance, no mercy, only echoes. And the echoes begin to masquerade as God. Does one really need to clench their teeth and tense up to share their peace? No, because that would be indicative of a distortion of the light of love. Projection, or the art of externalizing the unbearable, and I understand. We've all been there. It is where we start. When the inner world becomes unstable, the psyche performs a sleight of hand. What I cannot bear to feel, I will accuse you of being. Thus, fear becomes corruption. Confusion becomes agenda. Desire becomes perversion. Doubt becomes evil. This is not malice. It is cowardly self-preservation, which is understandable, because it is how most of our brothers and sisters start out on this world. Projection is a dark magic that feels like righteousness. The practitioner truly believes, if I can name the monster outside myself loudly enough, the one inside will go quiet. But it never does. And no one knows that better than Corvin, Haze, Lord Hayes, Goth, Von, Kor, Wire, Nair, Galarian, Lord Hayes, Vletchin, Stetchy, Sticky, Icky, You, Pave Clap, Thomas Ponder. The idol of biology, carved from panic. Oh, it is such a thing. We know. There is a way to worship facts without understanding them, It is done by flattening complexity into slogans, but slogans, oh, we know, do not suffice for the complexity of life. Turning science into a club rather than a lens, freezing living reality into dead certainty. Thus, biology, once a study of life's ingenuity, becomes a cudgel, bare and broken to beat all those who turn away from our malice. Not to explore, not to learn, but to end conversation and yet still continue it. For the point was never what was said, only that which was hidden behind the plaster mask, which still was not their fault. For they had forgotten they too were forgiven once. This is not science. It is taxonomy of terror management. When complexity threatens identity, the frightened mind shouts, "Bottom line!" as though reality were a courtroom that could be adjourned by banging the table, as do many with all of their beauteous creative slogans. Beware the man who invokes children constantly but never listens to them. He does not protect children. He uses them. Children become shields against self-examination, props in adult moral panic, containers for unresolved shame. Notice the pattern. The loudest accusations come with the least proximity to actual care. The most graphic fixations come from those claiming to oppose them. The greatest certainty arises where knowledge is thinnest. This is not concern. It is terror wearing the mask of guardianship. The gospel according to rage. There are those who invoke Christ but recoil from compassion. They quote judgment but flee mercy. They shout sin but cannot abide healing, and yet still do not know the origin of the word sin, nor all of the other words they spew so consistently, compulsively, simply to stabilize themselves. It is not their fault. They were misguided. Such people do not follow the one we now call Jesus. They follow the fantasy of being right forever. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be free? One brings constriction, one brings peace. They imagine God as a cosmic comment section moderator, handing out bans rather than bread. But the Christ they invoke keeps slipping through their fingers because he did not scream, he did not coerce, he did not confuse control with holiness. Rage is not righteousness, no matter how many verses it wears as armor. There is a peculiar inversion common to authoritarian minds. Everyone must stop existing in ways that make me feel uncomfortable. Oh, ye of such adorable misguidedness. When the world refuses to comply, the accusation is launched. You are forcing me. Thus, control is projected outward as victimhood inward. The true hallmark of fascism is not disagreement, it is the inability to tolerate plural reality. When someone demands that all ambiguity collapse into their certainty, they are not defending freedom. They are defending their fear from being exposed, though they spew it like a geyser, known to all but themselves. Repetition is not persuasion, volume is not authority, insults are not insight, they are projection of insecurity, just like always and will always be, because hate never cured hate. It never has, it never will. Judgment never cured judgment. Contempt never healed contempt. It never has. It never will. When the same words are hurled again and again, it is not because they are strong. It is because they are all that remains. The mind, cornered by complexity, begins to loop. This is not debate. No one need win here. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be free? It is psychological self-soothing through aggression. It would almost be endearing if it was not so consistently harming. The shout becomes a lullaby. The insult becomes a pacifier. I'll take care of you the best I can. And there is a special hell that already exists. Some threaten others with hell, though they know not it has no biblical origin. It was but an evolution of an idea. Though we have libraries in our pockets, information at our very fingertips, though we opt for ignorance, because we were fed the notion that ignorance is bliss. They are unaware they are already pacing its corridors, that special hell that already exists. Hell is not fire after death, it is needing enemies to feel whole, needing silence from others to avoid your own, needing certainty so desperately that curiosity feels like attack. Hell is shouting into a void you created and calling the echo truth. No divine judgment is required. The state is self-sustaining, for free will is a choice, and there is no ceiling to imagination but that which you would deem to be, or that which one told you there was. Oh, children of the light, that carbon, bone, and misunderstanding of time, There are those who speak of bones as though time were on their side. They imagine future archaeologists as allies who will vindicate their fear. But time does not testify for ideology. It reveals how violently some clung to simplicity, how loudly some resisted being wrong, though even some of the most manipulative understand being able to apologize is a social tool. Oh, how often certainty masked terror of the unknown. History does not ask who shouted loudest. It asks who listened when listening was hard. Oh, what courage in the miserable, or maybe not. And that, as well, is not their fault. Hear this carefully, for many will not. Darkness is not ignorance. Darkness is the refusal to adapt sight. The man who strives hardest to remain in the dark is not evil, no. He is terrified that if the light turns on, he will have to rearrange the furniture of his soul, and yes, it does take conscious, determined focus. Because people only change if they want to. So he smashes the lamp and damns the light, then screams that the room is full of monsters. To the one who walks away whole, you did not absorb this poison. You did not bend to stabilize another's collapse. You did not trade your clarity for his comfort. That is not victory over him, for that would be egoic inflation. And we know better than that, don't we? It is sovereignty over yourself. And the codex closes with this final line, written not in ink but in silence. Those who refuse to listen eventually hear only themselves, and that, at last, is what they were most afraid of. Praise love and pass the compassion. I send you all the divine love of my being to bless and prosper you. God bless your divine presence. Beloved, dear brother, you'll be all right. No one remains ignorant forever.